Elon Musk keeps getting mocked and laughed at, and now the ridicule is intensifying. Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. President Trump's sidekick, Elon Musk, who claims to be working on government efficiency, appeared recently at a conservative conference, seemed high on something, and weirdly waved a chainsaw.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
Wait, did you hear that? Play it again. I thought I heard that. That's a Dean scream.
And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
While Howard Dean never recovered politically from his weird behavior 20 years ago, Elon Musk, of course, is already in the White House, courtesy of Donald Trump. Still, Musk's reputation is crashing fast. Trump cabinet members are openly dismissing Musk's requests, more on that in a moment, and Musk keeps exploding at critics in ways that only seem to reinforce their descriptions of him.
Do you think that calling Elon Musk a dick is effective messaging for confronting what is a potentially irreversible transformation of the U.S. government?
Well, he is a dick.
In response to that name-calling, Musk reportedly encouraged the Trump U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia to send Congressman Garcia this warning letter about making a threat to Musk. Never mind, of course, that under the Constitution's First Amendment and settled case law, the courts have long held that calling anybody a dick is protected speech. Garcia first took aim at Musk and his lapdogs in Congress a few weeks ago in a House hearing.
Now, I find it ironic, of course, that our chairwoman, Congresswoman Green, is in charge of running this committee. Now, in the last Congress, Chairwoman Green literally showed a dick pic in our oversight congressional hearing, so I thought I'd bring one as well. Now, this, of course, we know is President Elon Musk. He's also the world's richest man. He was the biggest political donor in the last election. He has billions of dollars in conflicts of interest, and we know that he is leading a power grab, also abided by and encouraged by Donald Trump and, of course, the chairwoman, Congresswoman Green.
Congressman Garcia then followed up in the appearance on CNN.
And what I think is really important, and what the American public want, is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight for democracy, for the future of this country.
Trump U.S. Attorney letter. This sounds to some like a threat to Mr. Musk, an appointed representative of President Donald Trump, who you call a dick, and government staff who work for him. Their concerns have led to this inquiry. We take threats against public officials very seriously. I look forward to your cooperation. Cooperation? Well, all the federal prosecutor had to do to determine Garcia's intent and to see that Garcia was well within his rights was to watch a few more seconds of the congressman's interview on CNN.
And it's important to push back on the chairperson of this committee. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene talks about having decorum, about bipartisanship. This is the person that lies more than anybody else in the entire Congress. And so if she is going to make a mockery of hearings, I want to make sure that us as Democrats are bringing that same level of energy. And of course, after those comments, we went into exactly what Elon Musk is trying to do: dismantling the Department of Labor, dismantling the Department of Education, dismantling all of our consumer protection agencies. And so it's all important, but it's also important to get the attention of the American public and call Elon Musk out for what he is.
So is Elon Musk a dick or not? Well, the fact of the matter, according to all legal experts, is that calling the world's richest man a dick is not a physical threat, and Garcia's First Amendment rights allow him to use the descriptor. Also, it is arguably dickish of the Trump-Musk Justice Department to threaten Congressman Garcia. Of course, thrusting small and laughably impotent threats seems to be the style these days for both Musk and Donald Trump. The Trump Department of Education says it will now investigate Maine's Department of Education for violating a Trump executive order banning transgender women from competing in women's sports. That Trump threat of Maine, which legal experts say will get laughed at in the courts if it leads to any federal sanctions of the state, came after Maine's governor stood up to Donald Trump at the White House.
Your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding. See you in court. Every state, good, I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one.
Again, legal experts say Trump's order will get rejected and Maine will win a lawsuit if federal funds are blocked. Still, Donald Trump's abrasive approach does seem to match the style of Elon Musk. However, when it comes to who is the big dog in all of this, Musk's stature is shrinking fast. A few days ago, Elon Musk sent every government employee this email titled, "What did you do last week?" Please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullet points of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager. Please do not send any classified information, links, or attachments. Deadline is this Monday. Online, Musk said that failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. Some federal employees are prohibited by law from complying with this order because what they do is classified. Nonetheless, Elon Musk said that people who had responded to his email, quote, are the people who should be considered for promotion. Because that's good criteria for deciding who will oversee a toxic spill cleanup, detect the next measles outbreak, and inspect your aircraft wing. Well, several Trump cabinet secretaries told their teams to ignore Musk's email, or at least wait for guidance from a department manager. The cabinet secretaries contradicting Musk include the new FBI Director Kash Patel and the Secretary of Energy. Other agencies telling employees to ignore the Musk email include the U.S. State Department, the Department of Defense, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Internal Revenue Service, NASA, the National Institutes of Health, the National Security Agency, and the Administrative Office of U.S. Courts, also known as the Judicial Branch. Yes, sadly, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas does not remain under orders to write out what he did last week. Anyway, the point in all of this is that Elon Musk is arguably weird, has the management skills of a 6th grader, and is incredibly thin-skinned. Thankfully, when Musk gets mocked and makes reprisal threats, the courts and our Constitution will keep most things restrained. In other words, even if Elon Musk is a dick, he will keep proving to be an impotent one. Limp and floppy threats are all Musk really has. And even most of the Trump cabinet is rejecting him. By the way, the signs are getting more obvious that Donald Trump is screwing over the U.S. economy.
The stock market closed out the week with the worst day of the year so far. The Dow losing 748 points. The Nasdaq and S&P also were off.
The major averages are not only lower on the day, they're lower on the week. And the Dow, the S&P, and the Nasdaq are now also lower for the month of February so far.
A study this week from the University of Michigan finds consumer confidence is down nearly 10% from last month, the lowest it's been in more than a year.
Is there a person in this country that isn't concerned that prices are not going to keep going up?
I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
But things have not gone as promised. The latest consumer price index showing inflation rising to 3%, up a tick from January and a whole point higher than the Federal Reserve's goal of 2%.
I don't mean to be gloom and doom, but when you have somebody that is firing people from the 15th largest employer in the world, which is the federal government, and then when you are saying, let's kick out these amazing people that have actually contributed to our country in the form of building our homes, as you're complaining about the cost of homes. When you're talking about people that are going and working the farms, as you're complaining about the cost of food, as you're getting rid of people that are working on bird flu, and you're like, oopsie, didn't realize that's what you were doing. We are living with this incompetent administration that is literally driving us to a recession at warp speed. And all I can say is hold on to your money and make sure that you have a way to make money, even if you lose your job.
The CNN poll looks a lot like the other polls that were out. Let's not make a mistake. The last day and change has been the worst day of polling for Donald Trump during his entire second term in office. What am I talking about here? Take a look at Trump's net approval rating. CNN, you see it on this side of the screen, -5. Gallup, -6. Ipsos, -7. Quinnipiac, -4. Negative, 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 underwater, 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 underwater. These 4 polls, all of them tell a consistent story, and that is Trump is on the negative side of the ledger. His net approval is negative. He is underwater.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Ren, who wrote, Believing a group of billionaires cares about the general public requires exceptional stupidity. Indeed. I look forward to reading your comments about a very fragile Elon Musk lashing out after being taunted and laughed at. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.